All right. Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right. So let's get into this. I didn't want to get yours out too late. Cancerians, let's get to this. It's Tuesday. So happy Tuesday. Try to always put out Cancerian videos on Tuesday and Saturdays, as long as I'm around and can get to them. So happy Tuesday, everybody. Now we are starting the big old countdown and celebration to the upcoming full moon in Virgo, which is also going to be the lunar eclipse. This is going to be a blood moon because of the fact that the moon will be in the Earth's umbra, so it kind of gives it like a reddish glow. I think the eclipse will only be visible from the Americas, though, north or south. And then right after that, we'll go into Mercury retrograde, but we'll do some stories about that. Right now, let's just take a look at what might be transforming, what might be in this particular like full moon and eclipse season aspect of this that we're coming into this week could push a character to kind of like transform something in their lives. So let's see what's coming into play with that. We have the second house, your assets, finances, and the things that you value. This could be somebody who is either going to have a surge of affluency, or they're going to change their relationship with things like status symbols and finances. Again, if we're talking about transformation, this is also oftentimes full moons are a good time to let things go, things that come to the surface. If a character had been putting too much emphasis on, especially emphasis and stress surrounding like how much money do I need to have? How am I going to keep up with this? How do I keep affording that? How do I keep these things in my life? It could be that maybe a character is going to be like, why am I stressing out about this? So what if this goes away? Is that really going to fundamentally change my life? Oh, and we have the power card. Okay, awesome. Hi, guys. Ataraxia and Violet. So great to see you both. We have got selection, motive, end. All right, so also called the cardinal mode. Anyone who's in this powerful energy is defined by dominance of their profession, the social, the familial, and their personal aspirations. They select for what work can best help them achieve these ends and and destroys that which does not. So we certainly have got some powerful energy coming in for a character. I can see why it's related to the second house. But if a character is going to be transforming something, transforming aspects of their life as it pertains to career, finances, matters of abundance, things that they either want in their life or structures, items that they possess, their status in business. Let's take a closer look at that, because again, we could be freeing things up. We have temperance. In the reverse, we have Four of Swords upright. To me, this is looking like someone who is going to heal from if they've had a shakeup, if something went belly up, if they, lots of times we have careers and we're like, okay, this is what I am, this is who I identify as. And then the bottom drops out of stuff. We lose jobs, companies close, we're forced to go back to school, learn a new skill set. We, once upon a time, were, at the top of our game, and now we just got to like, quote unquote, like step into or step down from how high we'd climbed in our career path. But this is a character saying, why would I stress out about that if that did happen to me? That only shows how resilient I am, and maybe it gives me a chance to do things a little bit differently. Maybe sometimes we climb into like a position in life, and then it's like, okay, I just got myself to where I can't go up any higher, and I also I'm not allowed to step back down, or people will view me as a failure, or I will view me as a failure. So now we cheat ourselves out of the freedom to choose a different path, because it's like, if I do this, like say a professional athlete who everybody knows, and then their athletic career is over, and now they work at a 9-to-5 job, and it's like, that should never be anything that they're ashamed of. In fact, they might prefer that. They might prefer doing sports still for fun on the side, coaching their kids' little league games, and allowing themselves to take some of that intense pressure, being the best of the best and being so dedicated and driven to being the best, athlete. Sometimes those are the reliefs in life when we actually get a chance to, in this case, heal, relax our energy, and step away from this fear of, what if something happens and I supposedly have to step down, or I lose something, or I don't have the same access to these huge affluent financial status symbols. This keeps feeling like somebody is not afraid of it anymore. It doesn't mean that it's happening. It means that they don't they're not bothered by it if it were to happen. That is an amazing sense of peace to have. You notice that the personal like self-judgment and all of that is coming out of this. I love that for this character. I love the fact that they're not going to be pressuring themselves to be like, I've got to maintain this. I've got to keep up with the Joneses. I've got to have this status symbol. I've got to keep this really expensive car, even if I can't afford it. They're like, I don't need to do that. It doesn't change anything. And in fact, I'm relieved knowing that if something changes like that, it could actually take pressure off of me. We have a King of Wands. We have a Four of Wands. This is somebody getting much more home-based, family-based, heart-based. I don't even know if I think this is Cancerian, because right now we got a King of Wands, which would be a fire sign. Now, obviously, doesn't mean that our Cancerian wouldn't have strong fire placements, and that could be the thing that is coming to the surface. Maybe they've got a moon sign that's in a fire placement, and it's like, whatever their Leo, Sag, Aries moon is like pushing them forward in a more heart-centered energy, taking leadership in a whole different area of their life, and saying, as long as I'm able to build great relationships, work on the foundation of, a romantic partner. That's where my real Four of Wands is. That's where my roots are. I keep feeling like someone could be considering downgrading, downsizing, stepping back from a high-paying, high-powered job that maybe was freaking miserable, or they're losing that job, or they're changing their perception on what it means to be successful and abundant, and they're completely pivoting. And where once upon a time it might have been matters of wealth, matters of tangible success, now they're like, no, where real success is? It's in the heart space. It's in the connections that we build with somebody. I feel like someone's very much more romantic minded at this point. And so it's really, really nice to see. I got a Two of Pentacles, look at the Page of Cups. It's all about a different formula for balance. This different formula for balance is simplifying life. It's about the sweet moments in life. I do think this character was blinded by the thought that I have to be super monetarily successful. I think they really thought that for a while, and I think it was not giving them their best life. I think they achieved a lot, but I don't think that they had much enjoyment. They're finally going to get to free themselves and go back to having moments of real enjoyment, moments of like creativity. The Page of Cups is it's an emotional offer. It's sometimes it's an apology, but I almost feel like this character wants to apologize to themselves for maybe, I don't know, if this character hasn't had a good time in a long time. If they haven't had fun, they haven't been childlike, they haven't laughed, they haven't loved in a long time, because it was always about like grinding away, looking at the money, looking at the dollar signs, trying to keep the expensive house, trying to keep the expensive career or the affluent career going. And I just think our character is like, damn, I so like was cheating myself out of joy. I'm sorry I did that to me. Eight of Cups. This is a character who is like, you notice that they like shrunken down. If they were a huge lion who was prowling through the jungle and they were the big boss, they had a big company, they had a big position, we see them saying, I honestly don't even want to have to make all those decisions. I don't want to have to be that kind of a leader anymore. I'm so excited to leave this behind and live my own life. My real power comes when I do what I actually want to do, not when I'm just, roaring out commands to others. That is so awesome to see the relief coming in for this character in that Eight of Cups. Let me just ask, is this Cancerian then, or is this somebody that Cancerian has dealt with that's going through these changes that's going to then impact Cancerian's life? Six of Wands. Sixes could be shared energy. It could be Cancerian and another person that are both doing the same thing. I'm almost picturing if this Cancerian is already in a relationship, right around this upcoming full moon, Cancerian could be having conversations with their partner about, babe, do we really have to keep doing what we've been doing? Like, I'm just kind of over it. You know what I'd love to like live in some little tiny space by the sea, get more time to be together, maybe not be in the corporate jobs, maybe simplify life just a little bit. Man, I'd love to have a little bit more time. That would make me feel really good. I would feel like we're being really successful if we build a really happy life together instead of really powerful careers where we never see each other. I mean, I could see it being that kind of dialogue. It's about, they both support each other though in saying like, you're already a success in my eyes. Both of these characters feel better about making these braver choices to put things into perspective, to be honest with themselves about what matters. This is not to vilify money or, if these characters are like, oh no, what we're going to do is we're going to work 10 times harder and we're going to go get more money. We could read the story that way. We could, if we both pour more energy in, think about how much further we could get. But I don't think so. I mean, unless they're going to go off and start their own business and pour their money into that, pour their energies into that, is still, I see this walking away from what they have known in order to live a better quality life. It does not mean that they are not going to be hard workers or that there's, quitting jobs and never going to work again. It's exactly the reverse. It's about, let's work on the things that matter the most. Let's build. This could be a person who's going to start their own thing, or a person who's with a partner and they together are going to start their own thing. But this is very, they're very excited about this. It feels more soothing, more healing than it has in a long time. And this has been a relationship where they haven't had this conversation up until now. They've needed to. They've both been thinking about it for a while. This really feels like a shared energy in this storyline now that we got that Six of Wands. So it's Cancerian and possibly a fire sign. Ace of Swords in the reverse. There is the question mark of, okay, so when do we do this? We've made the game plan. When do we, cut one thing and transform our lives? When do we fly free? Are we ready to do this? They're going to have a serious conversation about, or this person on their own is going to have a serious conversation, but the acknowledgement is there. Okay, they don't see the timeline just yet. Magician is in the reverse. It's like, this is exciting. This is a change. This is something a character is like, now that I've acknowledged it, or we've talked about it out loud and we know this is what we want to do, when do we make the transition? And that part is not clear yet. It's a little bit like, wait for it. Queen of Pentacles, strength in the reverse. It almost feels like it's going to become clear. It's going to be, a day where, because this has already been accepted, this is the new path that we're going to take. It feels like there's continued pressure building. And then I think at some point in time, it's like, well, the pressure is building because now we know what we want to do. And it's like, oh my God, are we really going to make these changes? Are we going to care less about, unclenching our fists and letting go of this mad grab for money and power, and instead put our power and our thoughts and our, dedication into this other plan for our lives? When do we do this? It's scary, but you know what? This is becoming something where it's like the pressure is building, but so too are the resolutions for this and the plans for this. And I feel like when they actually go ahead and officially make this transition, this, pivot, it might just come on the heels of what is kind of like a really difficult day, a highly pressurized day. And then it's like, you know what, whether it's scary or not, or maybe this says somebody is going to lose their job. One of these partners is going to lose their job. And it's like, well, we have just committed to that plan that we made. What's nice is that this is already a plan. This is almost like we already developed a business plan. We developed this idea of what we would like to do instead of what we've been doing. And the universe is probably going to help push them into this next plan, because this is where their real success and real results are, right? The Queen of Pentacles is all about absolute stability. Queen of Swords. And we got this, the guides have been saying, the reason y'all were thinking about this, the reason you were putting these plans into action, making a dream book, making a vision board, is because you knew the day was coming when you were going to make some shifts, and your heart was speaking, through you. Your soul was speaking through you. Your higher self was speaking through you, saying, I'm just not so attached to all this, the status stuff that I used to be. I wonder why I've lost interest in it. I wonder why I'm longing for a slightly different kind of lifestyle. I wonder why I'm putting more emphasis now on partnership, relationship instead of status. Well, that was all the guides and the universe, intelligently preparing our characters for a better quality life, because the change was coming for this character and they were ready for it. This was not sustainable. Whatever this character was doing, it wasn't making them happy. It wasn't sustainable, not for either person or either character. I just feel like their lives are going to be so much more authentic, so much more free. Their relationships are going to be better. And there's a sense of, I actually think their abundance is going to get better. Sometimes you'd think that if you lose a really high power, expensive, career path, where you're the mover shaker, you wouldn't imagine that you could possibly have a life of better quality and still excellent, financial freedom doing something else until you're pushed into something else. And it's like, oh my God, this is so much better. This is the best of all worlds. I don't know. I'm picturing, this comes to my mind, that maybe a couple is going to like, own their little like B&B or something. And it's like, well, we live here, we love it here. And on top of it, the money comes into us, and it's all, the place that we enjoy being anyway. And it just clicks. It could be something like that, where it's like, who would have thought that we could live in a beautiful location and we don't have to run away to go work someplace else and never see each other, but we get to build something together, and the money comes toward us. It just feels like this is shifts and changes that a character has wanted to make, but then it looks like the universe is going to kick into high gear and maybe expedite some changes, but it actually leads to the best quality life and the true quality life that these characters have wanted for a long time. That's how it comes across. All right, you guys, I'm going to leave this one here. Hi, Kristen. Great to see you. Hi, Delina. Thank you for being here, love. Ataraxia and Lulu. Awesome to see you too, honey. Thank you. Oh, that's wonderful. Ataraxia, are you hibernating in Albania? That's wonderful. Hi, spam folder. Bogdanka, awesome to see you. Hey, Violet. All right, you guys, take care. I will see you again later on this evening. All right, on the other channel. All right, bye, guys.